My name is Alan Bracken, and I want to thank you for being on this journey toward extraordinary success with me, where we talked about some topics that I believe can move us in the direction to becoming extraordinarily successful in our lives. We have talked about tenacity, intentionality, and now we're discussing purpose. We've said purpose is really the reason why something exists. In our first discussion on purpose, it was more focused on our organizations. And we asked this question: what would not happen if your organization did not exist? And that is to really get us thinking beyond the obvious why we exist. In this discussion, we're going to take it more personally. We're going to really try to move us towards clarification in our own personal individual lives on this whole topic of purpose. Here's what I really believe. I believe that all of us have a very specific, unique purpose. If every snowflake that falls out of the sky is different, and if every fingerprint out of the 7 billion plus people on the planet is unique and different, then I really have to believe that we all as individuals and people have a very specific, unique purpose. It's just finding it. How do we get there? How do we discover and uncover what that really is? The next question, I think, can move us in that direction. And it's the passion question. What are you passionate about? This can be an indicator that can move us toward clarification and clarity of our purpose. What gives you energy? What excites you? What do you love to do? Now, find out what that is and learn more about that. A recent study shows that 80% of Americans aren't passionate about anything. If we're not passionate, we will not be extraordinarily successful. So I've looked in my own life and looked in the lives of others, and I've asked this question: what increases passion? What do we need to do to increase our passion? If it's an important component toward extraordinary success, then I believe that we need to figure out how to increase our passion. And I think the answer is learning. Learning more about something that maybe piques our interest a little bit can allow us to become more passionate about that. Now let me give you an example. This is a picture of my family. My daughter, my son, and my other son, and my other daughter. Now you can see the two little ones if you zoom in on this picture. They're adopted. And there was a time in my life that I wasn't passionate at all about adoption. I didn't know anything about adoption. My wife was passionate about adoption, but I wasn't. But here's an interesting thing that happened. As I began to learn more about it, learn more about the dynamics of it, the need for it, what happens, the results, all of those things, guess what? I began to become more passionate about it. So much so that obviously we have adopted 2 very wonderful children that have really changed our lives and added a lot more purpose, quite frankly, to our lives. And that's just a personal example of me learning more about something that piqued my interest but that I didn't have a passion in. So the challenge for us is this: if we want to increase our passion, learn more about it. And the more we learn, I believe, the more passionate we can become. Another example personally for me is that there was a time many years ago that I was not passionate about personal growth and leadership and developing myself. But as I've learned more about leadership, personal growth, success, I begin to be more passionate about it. And obviously that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Because I have a passion, I have a desire to help people discover their unique purpose, to really become extraordinarily successful. So in our next discussions, we want to talk about some more questions that will help us on this journey. We've talked in this discussion about what you're passionate about. And if you're not passionate, learn about something that piques your interest. The next one's going to be, what are your skills? And then the last discussion on this topic of purpose is going to be what makes you feel noble. I have two challenge questions for you on this discussion of passions. First one is, how clear are you on what you're passionate about? On a scale of 1 to 10. Do you really know? Have you really ever thought about it? And the second one is, if you really aren't sure what you're passionate about, what are some things that interest you that you could learn more about so that you can become more passionate? Because I know clarity of our purpose will lead to extraordinary success.